So if y'all know anything about Voch, y'all know I love to read the comments. I love to interact with y'all. I always recommend y'all leave questions and comments in the comment section because sometimes it just makes me better. Sometimes it's always ways to improve just by taking taking a look from an angle that you wouldn't always expect. So please leave your comments and your feedback and all that good stuff because it actually helps me out in the end. I saw this one comment I wanted to take a look at here. It's from Sherelle Riddell. Shouts out Sherelle Riddell. Says, I love you, but what's up with pouring the water? Stop. You know what I'm saying? I feel you. I thought it was something that was pretty cool, but I take everybody's feedback into consideration. So we don't want to piss nobody off. So from here on out, I will not be pouring any more. Psych. Boy, I sure hate to lie to everybody's face, but sometimes it's necessary, bro. So we not gonna stop pouring water up in here. I want everybody that's watching, pause this video, go pour you up some water so we all can be hydrated together as I get into this content that I'm going to present to you, which is my top 10 favorite current Cowboy list. I could make like a top 10 all-time Cowboy list, but like I was born in 92. So my Cowboy list, like my all-time list, it really wouldn't be too much longer or different than the guys on this list. You'll probably add like D Ware in there somewhere. Dez will be up there. I was a Tony fan, Leroy Glover, and Larry Allen is my most favorite Cowboy of all time. Marion Barber probably be in that list somewhere too. But just to kind of keep it concise and to keep it on this year, I want it to be a very recent list. So the guys that are on this roster, I'm gonna go from 10 to 1. That's from 10th favorite to my number 1 favorite, and I'm gonna find a way to incorporate some film while I edit this, so it should be a fun little thing to do. Let's get started. And I will say that most of my favorite Cowboys have come from my college scouting. You know what I mean? So these are guys that they either made a big impact on me when I was playing college and I was scouting them, or they made big impact in the actual Cowboy uniform, or both. One of these guys actually don't have a Cowboy snap to their name. We're gonna get into that in like 20 seconds. Let's see if y'all can figure out who's on my list in the comment section or the chat box, however you watching this. So I got 3 receivers, 1 running back, 2 offensive linemen, a quarterback, a DB, and 2 pass rushers. Let's see if y'all can guess this before I get there. Comment section, chat box. Let me see what y'all got to say. But most of these biases, or most of the time, I will get my favorite player. It comes from college scouting. So it's either going to be a player I super watch film on in college, that's a Cowboy now, or it's going to be based on the work that they did in a Cowboy uniform. So I think or both. It could be both. So let's just kind of get into this list, man. All that talking. CeeDee Lamb. CeeDee Lamb is my number 10 guy. And the only reason CeeDee Lamb is my number 10 guy is because he hasn't played a snap in a Cowboy uniform yet. But in terms of how much I liked him in college, my excitement for him pre-draft, and the fact that once upon a time in pre-draft, I was like, man, this is the best receiver in the draft. There's no way he's going to make it on my team. And then the more I just kind of talk and figure it out and put the pieces together, the more the draft puzzle pieces came together, the more I was able to craft a scenario to get CeeDee Lamb on my team. And for damn sure, CeeDee Lamb ends up on my team. He's a Dallas Cowboy, and that was a fantastic moment in hookup history. And we all need to just, remember that day in Cowboy land, because it's going to be a special one. It's going to be a crazy one for us to just look back and think about how fire that was to get CeeDee Lamb. But he's number 10 because he hasn't played a snap yet, and the other 9 Cowboys have absolutely played snaps on this team already. So let's move on to number 9. And number 9 being Tony Pollard. Big fan of Tony, man. When he was in Memphis, I like as a former offensive guy, I'm still an offensive guy before I'm an offensive coach. I really like high-level utility players. You can put me at any receiver spot. You can put me at the running back spot. You can just whatever, just a utility guy, just an extra guy on offense. I can be kick return, punt return guy. I was a big fan of Tony coming out in the drafting process, and he shows up to the Senior Bowl, started beating the hell out of people in the Senior Bowl. Then he ends up in Dallas, and there was this whole campaign. Y'all can look it up. You can go on my channel. There's a little magnifying glass. You can click and type Tony Pollard and search it. I was really on this campaign that, yo, fam, if we don't pay Zeke, like, I'll be fine with Cousin Tony. We'll be good to go with Cousin Tony if, Zeke don't take his money and move on with his life. You know what I'm saying? If he want to sit in Cabo and sit out for like 5 weeks, then so be it. I had that much faith in Tony. Then sure enough, Tony started getting carries, and Tony started looking good. And even towards the end of the year, Tony started to look way more fast and quick and explosive than Zeke was. Not saying that Tony was better, but there was a handful of places where Tony did indeed look like he should be getting more carries. And the fact that he didn't get more carries, it made a lot of Cowboy fans, including myself, pissed off about the coaching staff or whatnot. So I expect Tony Pollard to have a fantastic 2020 campaign. And we share a last name. That's my cousin for real. He ain't my cousin for real. But that's my cousin for real because we share a last name. Lombardi's not my real last name. I don't think they make black Lombardis, but whatever. Number 8 is Jourdan Lewis. And I normally don't like DBs. Like, I hate cornerbacks and safeties. And it ain't going to be another DB on my list. But I like Jourdan Lewis so much that he's on mine. Earlier we was talking about offensive utility pieces. Well, he can be set the same for as a defensive utility piece. We've seen him make plays on the outside. We've seen him make plays in the nickel. Even at linebacker, right? One of the more brilliant moves that this coaching staff, Chris Richard at least, I don't know if it was Chris Richard. This idea was so fantastic, it couldn't have been Chris Richard's idea. They must have been reading fan mail that week and read the letter I sent them. But to put Jourdan Lewis at linebacker and play nickel, a lot of people thought it was a dime look. It wasn't a dime look because Jourdan was in the box when we played the Saints or whatever, right? He was at linebacker playing nickel, but his job was to chase around Alvin Kamara. So if Alvin went to the outside, Jourdan would go outside, and that would create a mismatch for us because Jourdan is a better corner than Kamara is a receiver. You see what I mean? Plus, if Alvin wanted to do anything out of the backfield, whether it be swings or Texas routes or whatever, Jourdan would have the advantage because he's in between the hashes already. He's in the box, just ready to kind of react to whatever Alvin did. It was a brilliant setup. Like I said, I'll say it again. There's no way Chris Richard thought of that shit by himself. It had to be a collaboration of 6 people to think of that. Number 7 is Zack Martin. I got 2 offensive linemen on this list because I could do what I want to do. This is a Voch Lombardi show, a Voch Fields production. You're gonna have to live with the fact that we respect offensive linemen over here. And there's a bunch of new people that are new to this channel. First of all, salute to y'all. Welcome. And y'all may not know how I get down with offensive line just yet or whatever, but there will be a video at some point in the near future, and y'all gonna realize how I gets busy with this offensive line film. And Zack Martin is absolutely one of those guys, man. He, like I said, man, he deserves a lot more credit for keeping Joe Looney upright. You can go watch that Joe Looney film session. Plus, if you go on my channel, in the little magnifying glass or whatever, you can type in Zack Martin. You can see Zack Martin films on my channel or whatever. If you haven't seen my offensive line work, man, just find my offensive line work. It's pretty good stuff, man. But powerful movement guy. We trust Zack Martin. Zack Martin's one of those guys where if we line up against a nasty like 3-tech or something like that, we go into that week thinking, all right, so what's Connor gonna do against this 3-tech? We don't have to worry about either side having an issue with threes or whatnot because we know that Zack Martin gonna hold his side down. Coming out of the Senior Bowl in 2000. Whatever year that was for Zack Martin, 14 or something, Aaron Donald showed up to the Senior Bowl, smacking everybody at the Senior Bowl, smoking all the kids at the Senior Bowl. And the only person that could block him was that left tackle from Notre Dame, Zack Martin. And they moved him inside, and he was smoking them. And then they'll put Donald at the end, and they'll put Martin at tackle, and they'll just have a big ass fight. And they walked away saying, "Man, Zack Martin was the only one that was able to block this Aaron Donald kid." And sure enough, we get on the clock that year, like 16 or something. Shazier gets wiped out. All the guys we want get wiped out. Johnny Manziel sitting on the board, and we just damn take Zack Martin, and we ain't looked back since. Zack Martin is a beast, and y'all should be a little more grateful for him. hey, y'all see that? Hold on, let me see if I can. Can I zoom? Y'all see that? Y'all see that on the screen? Y'all see that on the screen? Y'all see 63 right there? Just picking on somebody's son, just ruining somebody's day. That's how it used to be, man. That's how it used to be out there. That's how I used to be back in the old days, but my knees hurt now. What you mean Dallas Goedert got punched in the face? Then up next is D-Law, DeMarcus Lawrence. So I've always been a big fan of pass rushers, pass rushing, the sack, the science behind it. I have a whole series on my channel called The Best Sack Technicians. Y'all can go look that up. I'll be I want to drop some more Best Sack Technician films, so y'all check that out. But DeMarcus Lawrence made me appreciate defensive ends more and what they do versus the run. And you can go watch my latest Robert Quinn film session from a couple days ago or whatever. Robert Quinn was out there getting his ass smoked in the run. The run is a part of the defensive end formula, the D-line formula or whatnot. And DeMarcus Lawrence is a top tier defensive end versus the run. And these peanut gallery ass Cowboy fans should be a lot more grateful. Then to just talk mess about him because he had a bad sack year coming off of labrum surgery or whatever. You know what I mean? So get off him for that. But as a whole, man, just his temperament, man. Cowboy fans love to be like, man, we need dogs. We ain't got enough dogs. Well, DeMarcus Lawrence in 1918. The biggest game of the season against the Saints. Nobody think the Cowboys got a chance to win it. And he looked everybody in the face and said, all that Drew Brees shit cool, but he going to have to see us. And I think it kind of rallied the fan base. It kind of rallied the damn team a little bit. D-Law has a quote, they just talking to him about his mindset as a D lineman. And he says, I'm crazy. I might be a maniac. I could smack the shit out of any one of y'all. I think that's so fantastic because everybody's not going to be PC good defensive end. A lot of these guys are maniacs and crazy as hell, and y'all need to watch how you talk to them. I like the fact that D-Law is one of those guys, man. So I'm especially ready for him to, come into this season with a healthy shoulder, with a chip on it. Healthy shoulder with a chip on it. Even more pissed off, ready to show y'all how much better he is. Also, if y'all look it up, I think every year D-Law was healthy. Every single year D-Law was healthy, he's had better stats than Jadeveon Clowney. Man, I remember Michael Gallup in college. The few games I remember watching from him, I mean, he had a couple, Pac-12 games that, I just kind of watched and I was impressed or whatever. And I was looking at it, I was like, damn, dog, he's doing a lot of Dez Bryant things. It's like him and Cortland Sutton and Calvin Ridley and DJ Moore. Like, I think he's better than all of them, but, that's just my opinion. I could be bugging, but like Cooper's the wide receiver number one here, but I think Gallup is better than Cortland Sutton and DJ Moore. That's just how I feel, man. Those are just my thoughts, bro. But just what we have in Michael Gallup, and I'm not gonna talk about Michael Gallup too long because I just made 3 videos about Michael Gallup. But just seeing him develop, seeing him be like physical runner, seeing him being jump ball guy on top of being a nuanced route runner, man, it's super fun to see Michael Gallup, bro. Super fun to see Michael Gallup grow and develop, and I can't wait to see what he does in his 3rd year. Y'all will tell me nothing negative about Tyron Smith, man. I will fight y'all on that hill all day, every day, no problem. Even in his decline, Tyron Smith is still one of the better tackles in the like what tackles right now are better than Tyron Smith? And Tyron may not give you 16 games a year. That's the only thing that you can really say about him. But if Tyron's active, then you can feel good about your left tackle position, right? But besides that, like who's better than Tyron Smith in the league right now? Like who is like Bakhtiari or something? Maybe if you feel like that, and like who else? Like, you know what I'm saying? That's part of my point too. With these peanut gallery goofy ass Cowboy fans, right? Is I struggle to find somebody better than Tyron Smith. Even if you don't, though, right? Even if you don't struggle to find somebody better than him, you can't name like 5 offensive tackles better than Tyron Smith. And if you can't do that, then Tyron is top 5. And if Tyron is top 5, and you would say that for the most part in the National Football League, most of the tackles don't equate to that top 5, then why the hell are there so many Cowboy fans trying to trade Tyron Smith? That's my point. That's my biggest takeaway from a lot of the ignorance that I see on the internet. If it's so hard to find left tackle, and there's only 6 of them that you would call worth a damn, why are you trying to get rid of yours? So some other team can have him? You got him. You got him when he was 15 years old. And he proceeded to play another 15 years with us, and he's only 29 now, right? You put in all that work to get Tyron Smith, and he's still one of the best tackles in the league, and you just want to, for some draft pick, for some box safety. Y'all quit playing with me, bro. Tyron Smith is so fantastic, man. He's so reliable. And to be fair, you only really hear about him when he's injured or like if it's a holding call or something. But everybody got holding calls or whatever. So stop trying to get rid of your left tackle, man. He's my 4th on my list of top 10 or whatever. He would be higher than that. And at one point, I think he was higher than that. Tyron Smith may have been my 2nd favorite player at some point. But my top 3 now is just my top 3 is sick, bro. The YouTube Illuminati is taking money away from your favorite content creators, and people often ask the best way to support the channel directly. I tell them that's subscribing to my Patreon. Just $1 a month would increase production and the frequency of uploads. Basically, that means more content for you. For less than a bag of almond M&Ms, you can support the channel, call dibs on requests for future videos, and you can have access to Patreon exclusive material like my throwback film sessions. That's patreon.com/Voch Lombardi. I appreciate the support. Doski Woski. Salute. Bro, like, I'm rooting for Randy Gregory so bad, dog. I'm such a fan of Randy Gregory, man. I want that dude to just stay on the field. If Randy Gregory stays on the field, this wouldn't even be a conversation, bro. Like, every time he goes out there, I say the same thing. I say the same thing about Randy Gregory every single year. I say, hey, man, give him about 4 games to get his legs up under him, and 1 game to just fly. And the next thing you know, Randy's going to be on a streak of good looking games, or games looking good, giving you good pass rush or whatever. Like like about time the league has loosened up their policy on marijuana and drug testing and stuff like that. I don't even think Randy was smoking weed. I just think he just didn't want to wake up at 4 a.m. and pee in a cup for some maniac that worked for the league or whatever. But Randy Gregory as a pass rusher, and I still say to this day, my unwavering belief. Let me look in the camera. I'm not going to blink when I say this. Let me take a sip of water. And I'm not going to blink when I say this. Randy Gregory is the best natural pass rusher on this team. Still. And I mean that, man. Like I always say that, sometimes players got to be current. Sometimes players got to get in a groove. Players got to continue to build momentum to be great players. Randy Gregory, year in and year out, has rolled out the bed a better natural pass rusher than one of your guys on the team, man. People want to talk about Robert Quinn. Randy's a better natural pass rusher than Robert Quinn. Absolutely. Indubitably. And I think if Randy Gregory plays 16 games, I'll give him a couple games to get his mojo working this year. But if Randy play all of this year and then stays with that offseason program, and then next year, Randy would be a better pass rusher than Robert Quinn. Absolutely. You can say Robert Quinn's a better technician than Randy Gregory or something like that. But in terms of like natural gifts, Randy with his hand size, with his arm length, with his height, and him just kind of knowing how to bend naturally. That's what Randy Gregory is really good at. So that's where his winning is coming from. You can roll off the couch and do that. As long as you're in regular human shape, long as you're in football shape, you ain't got to be a spectacular athlete to get back on board with that. So, yo, son, Randy Gregory going to be just fine coming back. Like I said, give him a handful of games or whatever. Give him 3 games and off to the races after that. My number 2 guy, man, when Dak Prescott was in Mississippi State. I'm from Mississippi, so I was watching. Trust me, I was watching. And, you know, like he was just kind of boom, boom. Okay, cool. He was behind Tyler Russell at the time. Funny story. I actually played against Tyler Russell in high school. Tyler Russell played at Meridian High School in Mississippi. So Tyler Russell was supposed to be cerebral Peyton Manning quarterback guy. All right, Tyler Russell, salute to you. Tyler was done playing, and it was Dak time. I want to say Dak's junior year, when he kind of had his first few games and everybody was like, all right, this Dak Prescott kid is pretty cool. You know, too bad he got to play LSU this week and, you know, ball game. And then Dak Prescott went out and proceeded to smoke the shit out of LSU. You know what I'm saying? And I've never seen Mississippi State ranked the number 1 team before. Never seen it. And Dak Prescott was out there with civilians. You know what I'm saying? Like, you know how Joe Burrow took LSU to number 1, or like Tebow took his team to number 1, but they had talent around them. Dak had like Josh Robinson playing running back and like Jourdan Wilson playing wide receiver for him, and that's about it. That's all Dak really had. And Dak made those guys formidable. And then when Duranya and Josh Robinson left, Dak still made Mississippi State respectable with even less guys. And when Dak was a Senior Bowl guy and he went out to the draft, nobody else from Mississippi State went to the league that year because everybody else on Mississippi State was trash. Sorry, Mississippi State, but Dak being able to just take whatever you give him in his surroundings and just baking a cake with it, bro. Dak Prescott always had that. He's always been an intangible guy. But not only that, but his growth from that day to like where he's at right now, you can't deny how good Dak has got with his improvement or whatever. And the people that say that Dak is trash or that he can't do this, they wasn't watching the games close enough. They just wasn't watching the games close enough, man. Dak getting his money right now, and I know the kicking game was whack last year, and I know the defense was whack last year, but Dak and Kellen Moore really gonna smoke shit this year, man. I really believe Dak and Kellen Moore gonna smoke shit this year. And me watching Dak in that Giants game at the end of 2018 really kind of sealed up what I felt about him. Because to be fair, I was on this train, right? I was such a fan of Tua at one point in me and Dak's relationship or whatever. I was a big Tua fan, but Dak wasn't who he was right now. This was like 2017 or whatever. Tua was a freshman and he was doing what he was doing, and Dak wasn't really who he was. And then I saw Dak in 2018, and then I saw Dak last year, and I'm like, bro, y'all can have Tua now. I don't need Tua Tagovailoa on my team now because I got Dak Prescott, and I think Dak's better than Tua. I think Dak's upside is higher than Tua's. That's just how I feel. We don't have to agree there, but I can't wait to see what he does next year, man. Dak Prescott's the man, and that dude just top tier. And I'm such a fan. I can't wait to get my Dak Prescott jersey after I get my number 1 guy jersey. After I get my CeeDee Lamb jersey, I got a lot of jerseys to get. And now for my number 1 guy, Amari Cooper. I thought that one was obvious or whatever. Let me know if y'all got that right in the comment section, chat box or whatever. But it's the weird thing about Amari Cooper, man, or at least, you know, with the relationship between me fans and Amari Cooper. You know, he's probably the most done film session I've ever done on my channel. If you go back to that little magnifying glass, type in Amari Cooper, you'll find I got like 12 film sessions on that dude. And the crazy part is, the NFL Network come out with their little film room of him, and everybody run into the film room to go watch. We're like, oh, look at all this about Amari Cooper when Voch been telling y'all all this nuanced technique and all the great things that Amari Cooper doing. I ain't hating. And I'm glad you found out. I'm glad you have a new appreciation for Amari Cooper. I'm glad that you stumbled across that content. But stumble across mine first. Anyway, but even in his Alabama days, right, he was a super nuanced route runner in college, And, sometimes just kind of looking at Amari Cooper, you would think that he's small because that's TV. But he's really a big-ass dude that can move really well, that can run really fast, and he is a superb route runner. I know his tenure in Oakland wasn't the best or whatever. I still think that he elevated Derek Carr a bunch. But, there's this notion about Amari Cooper. There's this preconceived thing about him, and I think it's pretty unfair, but whatever, who cares? Amari Cooper is probably the best route runner in the league right now. Diggs, Edelman, Cooper Kupp, I get it. I think Amari Cooper is the best route runner in the league right now. And I think we'll be calling Amari Cooper a top-tier receiver a lot more if he didn't have a bad stint with Oakland and he wasn't a Dallas Cowboy. If he was any other team, we'll be looking at Amari Cooper like he's the best. Regardless of a down year, because I tell you what, Odell Beckham can get hurt and have a bad year. People still gonna look at him like he's elite, regardless of what numbers he put up. Even if he's healthy and his numbers fall down, they're still gonna look at him as if he's elite. And you should. Odell Beckham is elite, but Amari Cooper is also in that class of elite. I ain't saying he's better than Odell Beckham. I ain't saying that. That ain't what I'm saying. But I'm saying that they at least deserve to be in the same kind of conversation, right? And of course, y'all don't have to agree. But I think what we about to do, man, with this damn Cooper, Gallup, Lamb trio, boy. But Amari Cooper's my number one favorite Cowboy right now. Not even from like a fan standpoint, like, oh, he scores touchdowns, he's fun to watch. But as an evaluator, as a nuanced technician, like the art of it, the study, the science of it, right? How does he set that up? This chess playing that he's doing. How does he set that up? And how did he come to this? And what in the film made him think that he could do that against that guy? See what I'm saying? That's why I like so much about Amari Cooper. Anyway, I don't want to hold y'all too long, man. I'm holding y'all pretty long. Shouts out to my Patreon people, my PayPal people, my Cash App people. All of y'all are very pivotal to what we do here. I know y'all been seeing the technology as the camera has panned to it or whatever. So appreciate y'all for doing all that. And for the Patreon people this year, we're going to be doing the fantasy football leagues again. So that'll be for my $10 patrons, and then I'll do a league for my $1 and $5 patrons. And that'll be like a first come, first serve type of deal. So you just kind of get in where you fit in. It's going to be fun. It's going to be dope. And plus, I want to do a show like on the first of a month, something like that, close to the first of the month, where I just kind of run down who won the merch for that month. Because sometimes people be winning merch, and I be sending emails out to people, and they don't be getting them. So maybe y'all watch my content, but you don't keep up with the Patreon, and which you should keep up with the Patreon. It's pretty interesting stuff over there. And I'm working on an Aaron Donald throwback film session. So. Get ready for all that. Shouts out to everybody that's why I keep clapping. Shouts out to everybody that's a part of my Patreon group. All right. With that being said, man, y'all hold it down for the Doski Woski and the Peasky Whiskey, man. Till next time. Peace.